Welcome, everyone. Thanks for joining me. I'm Tim Laskus, and you're listening to The Tim Laskus Show. This is episode 77. Today's featured guest is Kay Sanders. She shares the real reason that you may be failing as an entrepreneur. She's been featured on CBS, NBC, Fox, and Wall Street Select. She has an inspiring personal story of struggling in her marriage and just feeling down and out. And in 2015, she was able to pull herself up and she became a best-selling author and an expert in helping entrepreneurs grow their businesses. She understands the importance of mindset, and she really brings great value to this episode. I know you're going to appreciate it. You're going to love it. So sit back and enjoy.
The Tim Laskus Show, in search of entrepreneurial gold. Tim digs deep into the minds of his guests, entertaining, down to earth, and informative. Now, here's your host, Tim Laskus.
Hey, Kay, thanks for joining me today.
Thanks for having me. It's great to be here.
Hey, we were just talking that you'd love to hang out and just spend time with your son and just family time when you're not working on business.
Yes. Whenever he wants to spend time with his mom, because he's 13, so now his fun time is more like being in his room, being on YouTube, watching TV, playing with his friends, on computer and stuff. And, I don't get that much son time no more. But yes, whenever he's ready to spend time with me, then yes, I do love to hang out with him.
Yeah, they're at that age when it's kind of more, mom has less influence and the friends have friends and online stuff has more influence at this point.
Yes, unfortunately.
So it's a battle a battle for his attention, so to speak.
Yes, I always ask, can I get like 5 minutes of your time? No, I want to watch my stuff. I'm like, fine, I'll just stay by myself. I spend time with my dogs then instead.
Oh, well, there you go. There's the second best, but not as good as spending time with your son.
No.
Well, tell the listeners a little bit about yourself, Kay. What are you currently working on?
Okay, well, I'm a business coach. I'm an intuitive business coach and consultant. So right now, what I'm working on is really incorporating my intuitive side, the spiritual side, and the mindset side into my business, and really help so I can help my clients a lot better on a mindset level to really break through a lot of their fears. I mean, oftentimes that's really what's holding us back. But I'm also in the process of creating an online course. So that's been keeping me pretty busy right now as well. But that's pretty much it, just trying to, still working my business, growing my business, getting out there, sharing my gift, sharing my knowledge, sharing my story, just trying to inspire other people that, that anything is possible. I mean, that's my motto, basically, that anything is possible. And that's what I try to share with the world. My goal is to change the world one person at a time.
Well, that's excellent. So, and how long have you been doing this? Have you been working as a coach?
I started in 2012 as a holistic life coach, and back then I wanted to work with veterans who suffer from PTSD. The only problem that I had was that I had no clue what I was doing. I had gotten certified as a holistic coach, but I didn't really learn how to actually coach someone. So I was just basically going in circles for a while until I decided, I really want to make this work because I have that passion for helping people. So in 2015 is when I actually got certified as a coach, when I actually learned how to coach people and those type of things. And that's when I also rebranded to a business coach, because I realized that my strength is really in the technical aspects, the systems, the strategies, trying to figure out how can you make a business grow and those type of things. And also with the whole web design and all that technical stuff that a lot of people have a hard time with. So that's when I rebranded to the business coach back in 2015. So I've been doing the business coaching for about a little over 2 years now. And for the past year, a little over a year, it's been full time. I quit my full-time job last year in January.
Oh, okay. Well, great. Well, congratulations. And
Thank you.
What are some kind of examples of issues that some of your clients are struggling with?
Well, the biggest challenge that I see happening a lot is the mindset. And that's why I incorporate the mindset coaching into my business, because any system and strategy, I mean, even the best system and strategy, you can spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on systems and strategies, but they're still not going to get you the results that you want if your mindset is not right, if your vibration is not a high vibration, because then you're pushing people away. If you have lack mindset, if you're having fear of rejection, fear of success, fear of failure and those type of fears, that's really what's holding you back. Or if you're having fears around asking people to really work with you, or buying your products, buying your services, working with you, that these fears is really what's holding us back. And it took me a little while to realize that also, I mean, that was like the biggest challenge that I had when I first started out, was my mindset. Things that had happened to me when I was a little kid really is still affecting me, like up until now, to really grow my business the way I want to grow it. So all of those mindsets challenges that a lot of people have is really the biggest challenge that's holding them back from really stepping out of their comfort zone, to stepping out there and really doing what they're meant to do, what they want to do. So that's really the biggest challenge. And then after that is really the technical aspects, and how do you really grow a business? How do you create all these different landing pages, lead magnets, list building, and all of those different things that really make your business grow? So these are the two things that really are the biggest challenges for any entrepreneur that I have seen so far, that I've helped my clients with, is really the mindset, and then also the lack of knowledge on how do you actually go about implementing the right systems and strategies to really grow your business.
Yeah, well, that's great. It sounds like you do a lot of wonderful stuff, but I wanted to back up a little bit. You had mentioned that, you had some childhood experiences and something that you continue to struggle with. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes, I'm gonna tell you my deep secret. Well, it was basically, as a kid, I was always rejected by people. Not so much my family, but like friends, and like even when I was getting older, boyfriends and those type of things, I was always being rejected. So basically, I grew up thinking that people reject me. And even my not my immediate family, but the rest of my family, they always saw me as, like, I was kind of like always the kind of like the black sheep of the family for some reason. And so I basically grew up thinking or learning that people just reject me, and that kind of stayed with me throughout my entire life. It showed up with friends again, with boyfriends, in my marriage. It was always like it kept coming up. People rejected me. And then when I started my business, it was the same thing. It kept showing up that it is like people didn't want to work with me, because I, deep down in my subconscious mind, I thought, well, people don't want to work with me. I'm not good enough. Why would anyone want to pay me for what I do, and those type of things. So those thoughts is really what was holding me back initially, because you have a vibration around you. So whenever you have lack mindset, or if you're just thinking, like, let's say you're sitting in front of a client or on the phone with a client, and you're thinking, well, man, they're not going to work with me. Why would they work with me? If you have that mindset chatter going on, your internal dialogue is negative, you might have the biggest smile on your face, but still people can pick up on your energy. They can pick up on that vibration. So that's what was holding me back for a very long time initially, was that my vibration was just so negative. And one of my coaches actually told me that my vibration, my energy, is kind of prickly and icky, and that kind of repelled people, is because I basically put it out that, well, people don't want to work with me anyways. People are just going to reject me. And it took me a while to really realize that was my biggest challenge, was that I expected people to reject me just from what I have learned growing up. So that's why I basically always basically shut the door on any client that would have wanted to work with me, just because I put it out there. I put it out there in the universe like that. So it took me a while to really realize that, and now it's like really working through that, working through those limiting beliefs. And I do a lot of EFT, a lot of spiritual work to really clear those beliefs. And now I finally broke through that, and now it's a lot easier for me to get those clients, to attract people to me, and to attract even like opportunities to me, because I no longer think, oh, people are just going to reject me. So that was like one of the biggest things that really affected me for a very long time. But don't tell no one my deep secret, okay?
No, well, I think you just did. So,
Oh, shoot.
but no, I think that's very inspiring, because there are many people who are listening right now, I'm sure, who carry around a negative mindset and who've had experiences, and they tend to think that that's who they are. And we can be our own worst critics at times. So, what are some tips you would have for some of the listeners who have a negative mindset and who've been rejected? What are some things that you could share with them to help them overcome that hurdle?
Ah, yeah, I'd love to. First of all, I would like to say your past does not define you. Your past does not define your future, your success, none of that. You have the power inside of you to really step out of your comfort zone. There are so many different tools and strategies out there that can really help you with shifting your mindset around. Like I said, I do EFT. For those of your listeners who don't know what that is, it's emotional freedom technique. It's like tapping on different meridian points in your face and on your body that basically you tap out the negative and you tap in the positive. And by tapping, it's kind of like, I'm pretty sure you've heard of acupuncture before, where they put needles in certain meridians. It's like kind of like the same concept, just no needles. It's just a tapping. That has really been very, very beneficial. And also, don't focus on the lack. Don't focus on the negative. Really, do affirmations. Affirmation is also a great thing that you can do. Positive affirmation, reprogramming your mind. Then meditation. I do a daily routine every morning where I do meditation. I mean, I'm also on the spiritual side, so I basically channel my spirits, my angels, to get guidance from them. But not everyone is into that. But that's something that I do. You can do Reiki. That's energy healing. So a lot of the new age spiritual work is very, very beneficial. You don't need no medication to overcome certain things, because medication don't work. But there are a lot of different strategies out there that you can use. You can, like I said, EFT is the one that really shifted a lot for me. Just the energy work, meditation, visualization. You can do, when it comes to like the law of attraction, all you need to do is, if you think of one thing for at least 15 seconds, if you hold a thought for at least 15 or 30 seconds, then you're basically attracting that. So if you keep focusing on, well, I don't have no clients, I don't make no money, or anything from a lack standpoint, and you focus on for more than 15 seconds, you're going to attract more of that into your life. So what you can do is you can do those virtual visualization. Basically what you do is you bring into your mind, you make like a mind video of something that you want. So let's say you want to have 10 clients, and how does it feel when you have those clients? You create like a mind movie around that. How will it feel like if you would already have it? And you just visualize that like a couple of times a day, and then you will attract those things into your life, because your subconscious mind doesn't really know what is right, what is real, and what is just made up. Basically, whatever you put in your mind, it thinks it's just real right now. So by you doing those virtual visualizations, you reprogram your subconscious mind on attracting those things into your life, and really being more on the positive side. Because if you focus too much on the negative, the lack, the things that you don't have, or the things that you want but don't think you can have it, that's going to bring you more of that. So instead of focusing on the positive, really focusing on the things that you do want, you can even write down your perfect life, your perfect day, and read that every single day, because that also shifts your vibration around and puts you in a lot better mood, and also raises your vibrations to attract the things that you want into your life. So that's like some of the things that someone can do. I mean, like I said, there are so many techniques out there, so many strategies. It depends on how deep someone wants to go on the whole spiritual side. But like I said, EFT, visualization, having a daily routine, and meditation, I think is really the few things that really made the biggest impact on my life.
Wow, you just filled us with a wealth of information. That was wonderful. So we got EFT, affirmations, meditation, channeling, your spirits, your energy, your visualization, law of attraction, and focusing on positive, focusing on basically what you want, and get rid of that kind of scarcity, negative mindset, so to speak. And that's incredible. Those are wonderful tips. Now, Kay, when did you kind of first realize that you had this entrepreneurial spirit around you
Oh
or
boy, I
within you?
was a kid. When I was a kid, I used to create certain things like those little armbands, and I used to sell them in school. Or I was doing those paint by numbers when I was a kid, trying to sell it to my family. So I was like always an entrepreneur. And then when I was back in Germany, I mean, I'm from Germany, by the way. Before I came to the States, I was married, and I started my own home nail technician business from home. I figured, hey, I can do that. I had my son. I didn't want to go work, but I figured, hey, I can do that and still make some money, and then I can do that when I come to the States. So that's kind of like how my entrepreneur journey started, more on a professional level. But yeah, I was always an entrepreneur. I always had the challenge of like whenever I had a job, I always felt capped. I always felt like I was limited. I always wanted to be more, do more. So I always, every job I had, I always took on more and more and more and more. So at the end, by the time I left every job, they had to split up my duties over like 4 or 5 different people because I kept taking on more and more and more. So I was never really fulfilled. I mean, every job I took on, I was excited at first, and then it got really boring because I could not grow anymore. And then when I got here, when I came to the States, that's when I really realized that, you know what, there's more out there for me. I don't want to work for someone else for the rest of my life. I don't want to be limited because as an entrepreneur, I mean, the opportunities are unlimited. You can do whatever. You can grow as much as you want. Your income is not capped. Your growth is not capped. You can travel. You can do so many different things. You have that freedom, the personal and financial freedom that you will never have with a job. I always ended up having those terrible bosses that treated me really badly. So that was always like a sign for me that, hey, I need to get my business off the ground. I need to get out there. I need to make something work because I cannot stay in this job. And it actually, my last job affected my health really badly. So it really, that gave me that push to say, you know what, I'm done. And that's when I really quit my job and really focused 100% just on my business. But yeah, like I said, I've been an entrepreneur. I'm an entrepreneur by heart.
Wow. So it sounds like you just had this hunger just to be and to do and to succeed. And you just were never fulfilled with these jobs that you held. And then especially, when you had people who were, either supervising you or who were your boss and, and they did negative things, it just reinforced. It's like, this is not for me. I got to get out of here.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's it.
Well, that's excellent. Well, Kate, let's move into the dig round where I'm going to ask you a couple of quick questions and just give me first thing that comes to mind. What
Okay.
keeps you motivated daily?
My son, and knowing that I'm meant to do more, meant to do better, and a lot of people, they need what I'm meant to serve a lot of people and help them, inspire them to really step out of their comfort zone.
All right. Now, who do you look up to as a business leader?
Oh, I have many mentors actually. I mean, I have a couple of coaches that I look up to, that I go to for guidance. Some other, big gurus. So I have many mentors.
Is there one that kind of stands out that just kind of initially comes to mind that's been, pretty impactful on you?
I would say Tony Robbins. He was really the one who got me into this whole personal development. I had bought one of his courses, and that just shifted a lot for me. So he was like the first one that I can say who really had the biggest impact on me.
Well, I just had Mitch Russo, who was one of Tony Robbins' CEOs on a previous episode. So it's Tony Robbins is just the guy, and he actually his latest video was "I'm Not Your Guru," and he's just been one of the most powerful, kind of self-help, self-change, kind of people out there. And he's worked with governments and with big corporations, and just he's made such an impact on the world. So I agree. He is definitely one of my top favorites. Now, Kay, what is kind of something that you would choose when it comes down to, if I offered you have to take street smarts or book smarts, which one do you take?
I would say street smarts, because you can learn all the things that you want, but learning and implementing are two completely different things. I mean, I got college degrees, and that's just book smarts. And if I would have to get a job in that field right now, I would be struggling really bad. And everything that I've learned about my business, that was not anything that I learned in school. And it's really just learning as you go along. So I think street smarts, now I got it, is the best way to go.
That's your route. It sounds good. Now, as an entrepreneur, we all experience struggles and just difficulties along the way. Can you share with an experience that was just mentally draining and challenging for you, and how did you overcome it?
Well, that kind of goes back to the story that I shared earlier about my fears. Really, that's really what's been holding me back for such a long time. I was always wondering that. I mean, I was doing all the right things, all the things that all these other successful entrepreneurs were doing, and it just did not work for me. And I'm like, why? What is going on? Why are these things not working for me? I'm doing exactly what they're doing. I'm modeling them. I learned so many different things. So it's not my systems and strategies. And then that's when it really hit me that it was really my mindset. And my coaches, they really helped me break through a lot of those fears. They actually helped me figure out what it was. I mean, it took me like 30 some years to figure out what my challenge was. So my coaches really were always there to help me figure out what exactly is wrong. What is the challenge that I'm facing. And so yeah, I wouldn't have been able to do it without my coaches, and they kind of guided me in the right direction. That's when I learned all the things I wanted to learn. That's when I really dug deep into the whole spiritual world, reading a lot of books, doing courses, doing things, practicing. But yeah, like I said, my coaches really were the ones that really helped me see the light at the end of the tunnel, and then I just took it from there and took it to the next level, basically.
Well, I'm so happy that you brought up that you are working with coaches as you're building your coaching program, because that's so important that, just because you're out there helping others doesn't mean that, you know all, and there is no coach that knows all. And it's always important to have someone who's on your team. I mean, you even think of successful athletes, Michael Jordan and people in different sports and baseball and football and, whatever it might be, they all have coaches along the way. And the same thing in the business world, some of your top leaders and coaches, they also have coaches. And that's a very important thing, because we always have something that we can work on to improve on ourselves so that we can help others the best that we can.
Yes, most definitely. And oftentimes it's like we ourselves, we can't even figure out what the challenge is. It really takes someone from the outside who looks in and says, "Hey, did you ever think about that?" Like I said, I did not realize that my fear of rejection was what was holding me back. I just thought that maybe I'm doing something wrong, but it was really my internal things that was going on. And I did not figure that out. It was really because of the coaches that I was working with. They said, "Hey, maybe it's your mindset," and they really helped me discover that. And what I would like to add is, like, I know a lot of entrepreneurs, especially startups, they think they can do it on their own, or they need to make money first in order to afford to work with a coach. And that's really the worst thing that you can do. I was at fault with that as myself. When I first started out, I was like, well, I don't have the money to work with a coach. And it took me about 2 years to say, hey, maybe it's time for me to work with a coach, because if you don't know how to grow a successful business, how to go out there and get clients, how to talk to clients effectively, how are you supposed to grow your business? So why would you try to figure everything out yourself? I mean, if you think about how much money do you leave on a table, how much time do you basically waste on trying to reinvent the wheel? Whereas if you would work with a coach and make that investment, I don't say it's a cost of work with a coach. It is an investment. It's an investment in you, in your future, and in your business. So why not make that investment, work with someone that's already where you want to be? Because then they can take you there a lot faster, with less aggravation, with less overwhelm, with less failures. And because a lot of people, they try to do it on themselves, and then they give up because they can't figure it out. I mean, you can do all these free courses, you can do all these courses, the trainings, but still, how do you really implement it effectively? That's the challenge that a lot of people have, is they're trying to figure it out themselves. Then they get frustrated and they give up because they can't figure it out, instead of just working with a coach. So I just kind of like wanted to add that, to really stress the importance of working with a coach. I will always have a coach for the rest of my life, because there's always some things that I have challenges with that I want to grow into, and I just don't know how to. So it's very important that you have a coach, and you can have coaches in many different areas. And even Tony Robbins, I'm pretty sure he still has his coaches and mentors that help him go to the next level.
Absolutely. And so, it took a coach for you to be able to have that aha moment of what you needed to change and to improve. And that, a couple of $1,000s that you may spend on your coach could save you tens of thousands, if not more,
Exactly.
because they helped you to save time, and time is money, and get you on the track that you need to be to not only, help yourself, but to help others. Now, Kay,
Exactly.
what has been one of the most fulfilling moments of your entrepreneurial journey?
Most fulfilling. Really just helping someone have those big aha moments. When my clients have those aha moments, and, for example, breaking through something that they didn't realize. I remember one of my clients, I helped her realize also something that happened in the past that was really still holding a really deep charge, like negative charge inside of her. and I help to release that, and just helping people have that energy high, that major breakthrough. That's really what makes my day. It's not because, I mean, my client success is my success. That's what really makes my day. If I can help someone, if I can inspire someone to just move forward, step out of their comfort zone and do something, and then really have that oh my God feeling, and then they call me like, oh my God, I just got clients, oh my God, you can't believe what just happened. These things, that's what makes my day. So that's like really my biggest aha moments for myself, or just the high moments in my business, where if I can just help one person, just reach their goals, step out of their comfort zone, and have those really that rush, that's really what makes my day.
Yeah, for sure. It's always just so exciting to see the people that you work with make these huge breakthroughs, and just for them to share with you how happy they are, and they're so thankful, and it just makes your day when they've done something and made a big accomplishment. Well, Kay, you've been a fantastic guest, and unfortunately
Thank
we've
you.
run out of time, but before we go, tell the listeners where they can find you online, your website, and any places on social media.
Yes, of course. My website is kaysanders.com. So Kaysanders. So they can find out all about me. They can even read my about story. I actually share my deep story there as well if they would like to be a little inspired. And then I'm on Facebook and LinkedIn, just Kay Sanders. And I just started my YouTube channel. So if any startup entrepreneurs would like to get some business advice, I just started my YouTube channel. So also Kay Sanders Coaching, and yeah, they can stalk me there if they want.
Excellent. Kaysanders.com. Thank you, Kay. You've been fantastic, and I look forward to staying in touch.
Yeah, most definitely. Thanks for having me. It was definitely great.
Thank you.
Want more entrepreneurial tips? Go to timlaskus.com.